Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So today I've got this card for you using the beautiful Butterfly Brilliance stamp set. I got this when it was on pre-release and I've not made a project with it yet. And I made this card for a simple stamping blog hop that I was on last week, and I mean this bit is simple stamping and then I just added die cuts and things, so I figured it was still quite simple. That lovely greeting there is from Flowers of Friendship. Again, both available in the new annual catalogue. I will link down below to all the items so that you can pop over to my shop and purchase them if you wish to. And I am using the new in colours. So the new in colours, 5 new colours released. So Stampin' Up releases 5 new colours every annual catalogue, and they last 2 years. So these are going to be around for 2 years. Which means the ones that were released this time last year have only got another year left. So I used Evening Evergreen in this one. We've also got Soft Succulent, Pale Papaya Polished Pink and Fresh Freesia. And there are coordinating products. So of course there's the cardstock, which I've used on this card. And there is ribbon, beautiful ribbon in each of the colours, and there's also some lovely matching gems, and there's some DSP. I haven't got that out. So yeah, beautiful colours. So you can buy these in multi-packs. You get 10% off if you buy those in a multi-pack, and you get 20 sheets of this in a multi-pack of the cardstock. So you know, good to kick yourself off with creating with them. Okay, so I am going to go for Fresh Freesia today. That's what I've decided, and I am going to show you what else you need. So you need a bit of Whisper White, well, basic white to stamp on. You need, I've used thick card base. I've got a scrap here for my sentiment stamping. I've got a 1/4 sheet of Fresh Freesia and scraps for doing the matting. I'm using the double oval punch as well for the greeting, and it fits perfectly in that, so that's lovely. And I will be using the lovely ribbon. Okay, so let's get stamping. It is simple stamping, and so it's just one lot of stamping and then the sentiment. So I'm just gonna, this I used for a project, and I was clearing out the project thinking I don't want that anymore, and I thought, well, I'll rescue the bits of card. Right, so I've mounted this on one of our large F blocks. I wasn't going to buy the F blocks, I got the Stamperators, but then I thought actually there are times when it might be just handy to just do that, which one of these is one of those times. So it's a big stamp, so take the ink to the stamp is the easiest way of doing this. Obviously we've got more butterfly than we need. There we go. And then you can place this on top and use like a brayer or whatever over it, but you know, some people went, oh, I'm not sure if I'll be able to hold it. I've got rheumatoid arthritis, so my hands I have issues with, and didn't find it any bother actually picking it up. If I was making multiples of these, I'd use my Stamperators. So I'm just giving it a nice rub over the back because it is quite a big stamp. And there we have it. Lovely image. A little bit not on there. Could have pressed a bit harder there. But I'm not bothered. It's fine. Fine. How lovely do they look? Now, what I then did, and I realised I didn't bring it across with me, is I wanted to pick out the bodies. So I've used my Wink Stella. You could just use a paintbrush with a bit of water if you haven't got Wink Stella. And all it does is just moves that ink a little bit because it's water-based ink. And it gives the centre of the butterfly a little bit. A little bit of extra colour and a little bit of bling. This will be trimmed down, so I'm not sure yet which bit of the butterfly will be trimmed off. And you can colour more if you want to, or leave it as it is. I mean, there is a little bit off there, so you could pick up a little bit of ink if you wanted to and fill that in a bit more to make it look like it was supposed to be like that. So that matches a little bit better. Okay, so we've just got a little bit of colour there down the centre of those butterflies. And you can just wipe the ink off a bit for that. So now I'm just going to sort of I'm using the stitched rectangles, and so this is the second largest, so just sort of decide where I want to cut. I think I might cut there, and then I've got a quarter sheet of the fresh freesia, and I'm going to cut a frame using these two out from that, and then I'll save the middle for another project. So I'm going to get those die cut. There we are, so they're all cut out. Right, so I think it's nice when you've got each of the corners sort of covered there. And then the frame, so I've got that bit I could use on another card. You could layer it up behind like so, but I'll keep that for another card. And I've got my frame. Okay, so I was deciding between having it straight like so, or as I chose to do, I did it on the wonk, and I quite like that. I sent a picture to my friend Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting, and I went, wonky or straight? And it was like, Jez, you're asking the wrong person. It would never be wonky if I did it, but I quite liked it on the wonk. Oh, that's the other way around. And I thought it was quite nice, but I might this one do it straight, so we've got a comparison and can decide which we like best. I think if I'm going to do it straight, I might trim this down to 5.5, and then it sort of fits better actually, because these are made for American sized card bases, and they're 5.5 tall, so it mats better if it's like that. So I'm going to cut this to 5.5 instead of the 5 7/8 that we use. So you'll be able to see that now mats much better on that size. So there we go. Just change it up a little bit. So now we need the sentiment. So I'm using this lovely sentiment from Flowers of Friendship. I love the mixture of the font that you get. There we go. Little card, big thanks. Nice sentiment, I like it. So I'm just going to chop this because the double punch, I don't want it cutting into the top bit. I might use that for something else. So just eyeballing it to be straight and in the middle, like so. So you see it fits really nicely in this. Love this punch. And then I'm just going to take from my bit, use the little butterfly there for my in colour bookmarks. Some I put dragonflies on, some I put butterflies on. I forgot that the butterfly punch was retiring, and I thought, oh, if somebody sees that and wants to buy it, they'll be disappointed. So oh, I left the lid off that. It might not work now. So a little bit of glue. No, it isn't going to. I'm going to stick my needle down. I've got some stainless steel pins. Need to be stainless steel, otherwise they'll rust and you'll get rust stains in your glue. I need to fill it, but it is actually quite a laborious task filling it because it's such a little hole that it bubbles up, and then you've got to wait till all the glue runs down and then do it again. So it does take quite a while to fill, that little bottle does. It's the only drawback. So that's my little sentiment done. When doing a card like this with a frame, I find glue the frame on afterwards. So because I've cut it down, it's easy to sort of see how it sort of mats on. So I don't want to do that actually, because I want to, nearly made a rookie mistake. I want to put a bit of ribbon around it. So cut a little wee bit of ribbon. So on the back, I've got my stamp and seal. Just do a little bit on each side, and then sort of eyeball it across there. Gonna put a little bit where the bottom of that is, just to anchor the ribbon a bit. And then I realise it's too high. I always faff. I've done it measuring, it's still come out wrong. So I find I just use my eye. That's better. And then I'm going to stick that down. So giving an equal margin all the way around, like so. And now this is where this little needle tip comes into its own. I did send these with some customer thank yous, and they loved them for doing little things like this. Absolutely perfect. So I'm going to put the lid on it now. So now we can match the frame up to the cardstock that's already down, because otherwise it's quite easy to distort the shape, whereas if you've put your panel down already, it will be fine. There we go. And then I'm just going to pop that on top there with some dimensionals. Just trying to find our pack. Got some ends. Lots of ends. I like to use my ends. Right, we'll have that bit. Is that too long? Might be a tad long at that end. I'll cut that bit. There we go. Stick that across. I'm going to go slightly slanted so it kind of covers the whole ribbony bit. I like the sentiment on the side, so I'm going to put a little knot in that side. I'm going to put my card straight, so I'm actually working against straight. It was actually quite difficult to do it on the other one because it was on the wonk. So a little bit of ribbon, going to tighten a knot. So cut that off, feed it under. So I want the ribbon to go that way, so I'm going to tie the knot that way. And I'm only going to do a single knot, so I'm going to tie it that way. There we go. And then just trim off there. And trim down there. And that is my card. So that is wonky and not wonky. Just gonna see if I can bend that ribbon the other way. I'm sure once it's been in the envelope it will. Oh, that's what I need to do. Just put a little glue dot behind it to hold it in place. So are you a wonky fan or a straight fan? I like them both. I couldn't choose, which is why I decided to do them both. There we go. I'm going to put that underneath the knot there, so that holds down in place. So yeah, I really couldn't decide whether I wanted it one way or the other. Normally I can decide on my own, which is why I asked a friend who was useless. So there we go, Jill. I did one straight. So yeah, all the details will be over on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. I'll link down below, and I'll link to my shop if you wish to purchase any of these nice new products. Okay, and I'll also link to the original blog hop as well, so you can see the other simple stamping projects that people have done. They might have done a little bit slightly more simpler than me. I've just jazzed it up with a bit of die cut and punching. Okay, bye for now.